Hi everyone, it's Bernard here on behalf of MovieGameNostalgia.com. It's a Tuesday. I'll look over my head, so it's a quick look at a board game on a Tuesday, and we're going back to our old favourites, MB games from 1983. We produced obviously a tie-in with a very famous, and obviously it had a revamp, didn't it, in recent times with the wonderful Paul O'Grady in it, but obviously Blankety Blank with the originally in 1979 when it first started, it had the wonderful late Les Dawson in it, and of course taking on from Les Dawson was the wonderful late Terry Wogan. So I mean, in the UK anyway, I'm not sure what the thing was in the United States. I'm sure you had your own version of this, and obviously the MB Games version. Very generic. I mean, there's no actual on the box or on the actual layout of this thing. There's no actual real people, so there may be a copyright thing. I don't know what MB Games had at the time. They weren't allowed to show, obviously, the American. Having said that, it could be the US host. I don't know. Obviously, the MB Games American connection. But as far as us here in the UK are concerned, there's obviously the images on the boxes don't really mean much to us, for our part. So yeah, I mean, it ran for quite. I mean, what was it? It was a 30-minute thing. Good fun, wasn't it? Blankety Blank, and this is your chance to play it, obviously. And these are available between £15 and £30 on the internet. Obviously, charity shops should have it. I've got one that's complete here, which I'll show you. I'll show you now. Obviously, we've had was it Paul O'Grady? We've also had David Walliams doing it as well. That's probably for one of these charity things, wasn't it? I'm not too sure. But how many episodes? 266 episodes of this in the UK in total. So that was interesting. So anyway, I've had a look on the internet. There's not much about this on Board Game Geek. It's got an okay review on Board Game Geek. I've not seen any videos for the game itself. So it's only a little game. It's nothing, but you know, it's great memories for me. Obviously, of my age, obviously this is the sort of thing I would have sat and watched. We would have watched as a family. It was quite fun. It's nice to see how they've adapted it for a board game. So anyway, if you like what I do here, obviously push the old subscribe button. That'd be great, and push the bell notification so you know when these videos are coming out. Obviously, it's mainly concentrating on movies, but obviously I do have Tuesdays set aside for a board game review, so I try and do one every week for you. So some people like, you know, have nice words said, so thank you very much for that. And if you like movies, obviously, again, push the subscribe button and you'll know when the videos are coming out on various movies. Right, let's show you the game. Quite a simple layout. I mean, there's no frame for this board to go in. It slots into the actual box it came in. So as you can see, there's no actual, it would have been nice to have a stand, but there you go. You can put this against a wall or something. You can do whatever you want with it. I mean, I've just stuck it on a thing here to show you better the game. Blankety Blank. I mean, if you know Blankety Blank, you know about playing the game anyway. What do we have? We have various things. Part one is matching the panel. So we have a panel here. We've got Bob, Mary, Dick, Vicky, Jim, and Samantha. So we have that panel. So you have to match the MC. So it's got to be 3 plus players. So you can't really play this for 2. You can probably jiggle about and have a bit of fun yourself trying to do things. Obviously, if it's just a couple of you, but it's best if there's 3 of you because there's actually 3 rounds to the game. So on each thing, you have an MC who actually asks the questions and can win. Well, the whole point of the game is to win as much money as you can. The one after 3 games to win the most money wins the game overall. So obviously you act as an MC in one game, and obviously you act as the 2 contestants. So there's 3 games in total that you get a chance to play. The MC reads a question from game 1 in the book. So obviously the rule book is a massive rule book, absolutely lots of pages, but that's only because the individual games are actually inside it. So that's why it's so big. The actual rules for the game are only a couple of pages, so it's nothing to worry about there. So whoever's playing the MC reads player 1. So obviously choose who's player 1. You've got colours, so you can have green, and you have red. So you only have player 1 and 2. So decide what you want to be, which way you want that to hang around. So you've got obviously those there. I'm just showing you the actual counters that we use for the game there. The MC reads, player 1 is first blankety blank question from game 1 in the book. So there are actually, in the book, there are 84 games. So if it's 3 games per competition, obviously you're talking, what, let's me do my mathematics. That's 28, isn't it? That's 28 times you can play this. But obviously there's a need for, sometimes if you draw, you may have to play another game. So there's still plenty of games. Is he going to play that many? Hey, well, download the TV. So get the TV series on YouTube. You can get some of that and play along with that as well. You can use their questions on the program to do it. That probably might be a bit more fun that way as well. So that's another option you can do. That when this game come out, obviously you wouldn't have received that option, would you? So the first blankety blank question from game 1 in the book, as he reads a sentence, he uses the word blank instead of the dash. Player 1 must now provide an appropriate word or words to replace the blank. For example, so I think, say I'm probably teach me granny to suck eggs here, but some of you might not play blankety blank. For example, the MC will read out, the little jockey was so short, he had to stand on a blank to mount his horse. So then you decide what word the blank is. So each player will actually decide. So player 1 goes first. So he decides what word he's going to use. And the player response might be, he uses a haystack to replace the blank. Now, in the book, obviously this rule book, obviously each game, you get the answers from each of the 6 things. So what the MC will then do, will read the panelists' answers from the book. So if any of these panelists, these 6 guys, have said haystack, so player 1's green. So if Bob said haystack, you get a star there. If Mary said something else and not haystack, you won't get one. Dick said haystack as well, so you get another point there for Dick. Vicky didn't say haystack. Vicky said something else. Jim said something else, and Samantha said haystack. So you got 3. So player 1 gets 3. If three of the panel agreed, obviously they're going to get 3 points. So that's obviously the end of player 1. So obviously then the MC will ask the same thing for player 2, but obviously there'll be another question, so it'll be a totally different question. And obviously, again, they'll give the answers to that. So say player 2 only ties up with only Mary. Perhaps player 2's only sort of got does her question and only agrees with Mary. So obviously, there's still another round to go, so there's always a chance player 2 can catch up. After both players have answered both questions, the player with they both then move on to question 2, and again, the MC asks the questions, and perhaps, obviously, you only accept the answers of the people that have not been. So player 1 can't ask Bob, Dick, and Samantha the question. So obviously his answers compared to Vicky, Jim, and Mary's from the booklet again. So again, if player 1 gets 1 right, he ties in with Mary, but perhaps Vicky and Jim don't say the same thing. So he ends up with 4. So obviously player 2 now has a chance to ask 5 people. So whatever the next question is, obviously he's got a chance of getting a maximum of 5. I mean, in the book, obviously there's no set game where all the panel give the one answer. So you do get 1s, 2s, and 3s, stuff like that. But unfortunately, player 2 only then matches up with Jim. So at the end of that, obviously player 1 is going to have the chance now. So there's no money won so far. Player 1's going to have the chance to win money on the super match. And the super match. The MC now reads the winner of round 1, the super match phrase. The player must now give 1 word or 1 group of words to complete the phrase. For example, if the super match question is party something, obviously the player then has to come up with an answer. So you could say, so what do you think of party? What do you think? Party dress. So there you go, party dress. So if that party dress is actually in the answers, is actually one of the 3 answers that were given in the book, you can either score 100, 250 or £500. So obviously, if the answer you give is dress and the actual main answer is party dress, you'll get £500 if that's the main answer. It's the second favourite answer, party game. That might be worth £200, £250 to you. And obviously, if you'd said Party Manifesto, that was worth 100, you'll get £100 for that. So you got all the money. You got all the money there that you get from the different players. So depending what chance you give. So let's just say you got you got the £100. You actually tied it in and won yourself £100 dollars. It's generic, obviously. It's just 100 of these. So obviously player 2 has that, and obviously that could be the end of the game. But no, it's not, because the MC actually gets a chance now to win some money. So this is nice, isn't it? So even though the MC is asking the questions, they do get a chance to win actually some money on it. Because what we do now is part 3 is a head-to-head question. And the head-to-head question is basically the MC and the head-to-head winner, or the player who's won the money. I mean, if he doesn't win 100, say his answer to that party, he didn't get any. So he didn't tie him with any. He doesn't get anything. That's the end of the game. He doesn't win any money. So as long as you've won money, you can carry on to part 3. The head-to-head question. The MC reads the head-to-head question, and both the player and he secretly write their responses on their cards. So you've each got one of these little cards. It's one for the MC, one for the player who's through to round 2. Now a little crayon, and I mean these days you probably get an ink thing you could wipe over, wouldn't you? With this you get a crayon, so both crayons are with this game. You write your answer on there without looking at each other. The MC and the player can't look, obviously. And they supply any felt cloth can rub it off afterwards, obviously. So the MC reads the head-to-head question. Both the player and he secretly write their responses on their cards. They then compare the answers. If they do not match, the game ends. If they do match, both participating players win 10 times the amount of money won by the player in the super match round. So if you can remember, we won 100 in the super match round. So they would the MC would win £1,000 of the $1,000, and the player won $1,000. So going on to the next game, obviously the MC and the player to win this game have both got MC's got 1,000 and the other player's got 1,100. So you can see that's the whole idea. After 3 rounds of this game, it's obviously the one with the most money wins the game. So you use a felt. Once you've done the answers, if they don't tie up, you don't win anything. So obviously at the end of that, you may only have one player might have just won $100, and that's the end of that. So that's the end of the first game. And what you do for the second and third game, quite simply, each of the players now take a turn at being MC, using the questions from game 2 and 3 in the book. All parts are played as in game 1. So you just do and repeat. So as I say, it can be quite funny. I mean, if you look at round, I'm going to say one at random in case you buy this. I don't want to totally ruin it for you. One of the games, round 1, player 1's asked, George dreamed he was a lumberjack. When he woke up, he had chopped down his blank. Now, reading on Board Game Geek, someone, instead of using the word blank, they were putting weird, rude names in. So obviously that would have been quite funny with the rude name in, chopped down his blank. But obviously, perhaps if you've had a few beers and a few wines, it'd probably be funny. But anyway, so George dreamed he was a lumberjack. When he woke up, he had chopped down his blank. So think of your answer now, and I will tell you what Bob, Mary, etc. had said. So Bob said house, Mary said bed, Dick said bed, Vicky said bed, Jim said chimney, and Samantha said bed. So, I mean, if you'd written down his bed there, you would have got 4 points, obviously, in that game. And then player 2 is asked. So, again, sometimes when you watch the TV program, player 1 and 2, I mean, some seem to get easy questions than the others, but it's just pot luck. So, depending on who's player 1, who's player 2. And player 2, Dora is so dozy, she tried to blank a shoe tree. So, Dora, what were the answers for that? Plant, 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 plant. So you would have scored a full 6 points there. So that's the base of the game. That's just taking one of the rounds from one of the games from the rule book. So as you can see, I mean, it is good fun. I mean, if you like Blankety Blank and you like playing it on things like that, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that would appeal to you anyway. Yeah, the game as it is. So. As I said, £15 to £30. It's a bit of fun. Not too complicated, is it? I mean, I used to love watching Blankety Blank, and obviously, as I say, we have our get-togethers. It'd be quite fun to have a game with the rabble. You know, my little family. Have a game of this Blankety Blank. Very simple. Even though it's a simple game, they're not sometimes a bit hard to talk about and actually explain, because it's best to play. But I think you've got the gist of this, and you can see how nice and simple it is. I'll probably pick a more complicated one next week when I do the reviews next week. But as I say, I'll be careful on eBay or Amazon or wherever. Always read the descriptions, eBid site, etc. Always, there are other auction sites available. Obviously, be careful. Make sure you're getting the full game. There's not so much with this. I mean, it's very little can go missing on this. So if you haven't, and as I say, the crayons and the head-to-head, you can write on a bit of paper. I mean, you can pick one up from a charity shop for a couple of quid or online for 3 or 4 quid, and they haven't perhaps got the cards and the crayons and the felts to wipe it over. I mean, obviously, people are going to sell them dirt cheap, aren't they? Right? It'll probably cost 3 quid to send out. So you're not really good. If you pick it up online for less than 3 quid, well done you, because obviously they've obviously lost money, whoever's put it online, because it costs more than that to sell it out, send it out, obviously. So yeah, I mean, if you're willing to mess about, because as long as you got that, the rule book with all the questions in. But as I said, go on YouTube. Go on YouTube. I mean, you can do it. You don't even need the game, do you? Just go on YouTube, do it on bits of paper with your family, have a bit of fun. I mean, again, as I say, I'm always looking for ways of having a bit of a laugh, and especially if you've got young kids, it's quite a good game to have on these. I mean, it's the sun's out today, but it has been frosty this morning. But on these rainy days, it's think of things up for your kids. Obviously, they're back at school now. Obviously, we're October, but Christmas time, it'd be good fun. You all have these fancy games, don't they? These electronic games and stuff. But I'm sure there's a lot of parents out there would do things like this, and it's the sort of thing I would have done for my children back in the day, obviously. Whether they liked it or not, and I think they would. I think they'd enjoy things like this, wouldn't they? So yeah, go on YouTube. Don't buy this. Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and just adapt it from the Blankety Blank things on YouTube. So. There you go. I'm doing it down. But I've got this on the site anyway for about 15 quid. And I say it ranges from 15 to 30 quid. Anyway, I hope you enjoy that. Push the old bell notification. Quite a simple one. I'm back tomorrow with the UK cinema releases. Some interesting ones there with that are out. And on Thursday, I'll be back with my second part of the scary movie posters from the 90s and 2000s. Just picking 13 at random. The letter, I think it's a letter A to N, I think, or A to O. I can't remember now. But obviously, I did the alphanumerics down to about N or O last week. So I'll be going from A onwards tomorrow. So let's throws up some funny ones, doesn't it? Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm on Twitter at nostalgia_movie. I'm on Facebook at Bernard Deneen with links to moviegamenostalgia.com, my website for all things DVD, board games, posters. So have a look through there if you ever get a chance, moviegamenostalgia.com. And thank you very, very much for watching. Have a great one. I'm going to the footy later. So if any of you guys are watching this and you're going to the footy later, I usually have a wander around the ground. So if that's the Etihad Stadium in Manchester, obviously in the US, you're not going to be getting over to Manchester that quick, are you? But I usually have a wander around. If you see me, come and say hello. That'd be great. It'd be great to meet you. But it's nice. I meet a few people. I met 2 or 3 guys last week at the last game, which was always nice to do. Anyway, thanks for watching. Whatever you're doing with the rest of your day, look after yourself, look after your friends, and especially look after your family. And I'll see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.